financial markets, cryptocurrency, gold and silver, world news.
Fair to say you simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills. That actually increases the money supply.
Financial turmoil explained.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Tuesday, the 21st of June, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Well, there's kind of a major escalation in the Russian-Ukraine war that's going on. Let's get right in there and let's take a look at the charts. Let's open up the charts right here. Russia is demanding that Lithuania lift what they call openly hostile blockade. Russian foreign minister has responded to Lithuania's partial blockade of Kaliningrad. They consider it the Russians, I guess, consider it a provocative measure, and they consider it to be openly hostile, and are warning that the Kremlin may take action to protect its national interests. Kaliningrad, sandwiched between the European Union and NATO members Poland and Lithuania, supplies from Russia are delivered via rail and gas pipelines through Lithuania, which announced last week that it was banning the rail transit of goods subject to EU sanctions, which includes coal, advanced technology, metals, construction materials. In the near future, transit between the Kaliningrad region and the rest of the territory of the Russian Federation through Lithuania. It says, if in the near future, the cargo transit between Kaliningrad region and the rest of the territory of the Russian Federation through Lithuania is not restored in full, then Russia reserves the right to take action to protect its national interests. They have demanded that Lithuania immediately lift the ban on a number of goods to the Kaliningrad region. Early Monday, the Kremlin called Lithuania's announcement unprecedented in a violation of everything that there is. The situation is more serious and it requires very deep analysis before formulating any measures and decisions, said Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov in a statement to the press. So what I understand right now is I think they're letting 50% of the imports through right now to Kaliningrad. It basically, this situation is an escalatory move in this war, and it's a very large escalatory move that could cause further-reaching ramifications. We're keeping our eye on this situation. It doesn't escalate. Anyway, we're going to get in there and take a look at the silver market today. 21.82. It's up 26 cents on the day. Now, you guys got to know what we're having right now is a bear market rally in the middle of a bear market. All markets, they never go straight up or straight down, you know. And sometimes your bear market rallies can be really fat and juicy. You know, and that's what we're in, a bear market rally right now. Everything's rallying back right now, including cryptocurrencies. And gold and silver rallying, 21.82 for silver. It's up today. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is 18.39. It's up 50 cents. That's all. I'm going to tell you guys what. You can see that gold and silver, their staying power through the bear, when the bear was really out, you know. See what happens in a big bear market like what we're entering into, the initial stages of a monster of a bear market. And it's basically all caused by the Fed cutting off the printing press. They're cutting off the flow of water. It's like a guy out there. He's washing his car. Okay, you know. got the water hose out there, you know, and he's got the chamois, and he's out there, and he's got and he's washing his car, and all of a sudden some kid comes along around the corner, behind the bushes, near where the water tap comes out, you know, about 50 feet away from where it hides behind there, and he kinks the hose. What happens? The guy's washing his car. All of a sudden, the water stops off. He's like, what the heck? You know, how am I going to wash my car? He doesn't realize the kid's down there kinking the hose. Well, that's what's happened. The Fed is like the kid kinking the hose. They've kinked the hose of money. They've cut it off. And they're cutting off the money supply right now. And in fact, they're going to start draining it backwards the other way. And ever since 2008 until now, up until recently, the Fed has been supporting all these markets, and it's a zombie economy. It only runs on Fed support now at this point in time. It's run so long, been such a credit expansion over the years. They just can't do what they're doing. Things are going down so fast. I've never seen anything like it. We're heading toward a depression that fast. Everything, and what's happening right now is in a consumer-based economy, you can't have the consumer suddenly just stop. The effects will be trickle-down effects. So you get, say, one business over here, you know, and the consumers, just not enough consumers out there to keep them in business. So then they go out of business, and all the people that work there then get laid off or unemployed, right? Now, those people, in turn, go to other businesses where they shop and have been going to shop. And now suddenly they don't have a job, they don't have the money, and now they're not shopping over there. Now that secondary business, the spin-off effect, is not getting enough business, so then they go under too, and they lay off all of their employees. And what happens is this is a cascading effect. It takes time, though, for it to play out. But this is what a depression does. And soon everybody doesn't have a job. Soon all the businesses are starting to go under because they were reliant upon the other businesses. It's like a chain, you know, like people form hands and they join in a chain, you know, and if you get one person break the chain, then everybody, the whole thing starts to break apart. And that's the way with the structure of this system. It's a credit-based, consumer-based economy, and the Fed is cutting off the spigot, or cutting off the money that supplies and keeps this running. And it's a no-brainer. It's going down so fast. We're going into a depression, guys. This is not a recession, what we're heading into, and we're going so fast that we're going to flip from inflation to deflation and everything except for food and fuel. Just with the exceptions of food and fuel, because people have to buy them. They got no choice. But everything else, you know, all of the things that people are just going to put it off because they haven't got the money to buy the new pair of shoes. They'll have to wear their old pair of shoes. They're just going to put off buying trips if they're going to fly across the country and stuff. The airplanes are going to start to be empty. They just can't afford it. Things are just going to deteriorate that way. And then the spin-off effects start to hit. And so what's going to happen is at a certain point here in this, when the downturn becomes so manifest that it can't be denied any longer, it's deflating really fast, then the panic button's going to come on. Right now they're denying. They're in the denial phase. When it strikes them that, hey, we've put the economy and put the world into a depression, then they'll try to reverse course. But the spin-off effects that I was talking about will be proceeding still. Like businesses going out of business, and then the collateral damage in the economy will be there, and they won't be able to turn that around. All they're going to turn around is the upper end of the economy with a whole bunch of new freshly printed money. So they're going to be dumping money out there, left and right then at that point, probably with the new central bank digital currency, which enables them to print to infinity, which will destroy the dollar. And at the same time, what is this going to do for things like gold, silver, cryptos? It's going to moonshot them. ultimately, all that new fresh money coming in. But it's not going to make its way into the general economy because it's dead. They've killed it. And it's going to continue to die, and things are going to get worse and worse and worse. And this is a hyperinflationary depression because all the things you need are going to go up so high in price, and the things you don't need, and it's just a strange situation. It's a mess. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And we're talking about people being very upset. I'm going to use the word unrest on a massive scale, and crime. Oh my goodness, can't talk about how crime's going to go up during this period in time, because the people that aren't making it, they're going to be desperate. Desperate people do desperate things. Okay, talked enough about that. Let's take a look at crypto, which is in a little bit of a bounce today at 944, 942. Looking at Bitcoin at 21,501. You know, and this syncs with the markets. So this is only a temporary reprieve. It's a rally within a bear market. And so we're still in the bear market, and it's going to get an awful lot worse. The squeeze. It's not going to end until the Fed ends it. But even when the Fed ends it, what I'm saying is it's going to continue to spread within the general economy in the real world. This is the financial world. This is fantasy land in here with fantasy money. You know, it's like the Magic Kingdom, you know, in here. And these are Donald Duck dollars, you know. And I mean, this whole thing is just a fantasy. This whole, but it's a driver behind the general economy, or has been, until a separation has occurred now between the general economy and the Wall Street economy. And you know, but there is still a connection there, you know, even though there's been a separation. In other words, Wall Street can be going up while the general economy's going down, you know, and that's what's been happening. But now Wall Street's going down and the general economy's going down too. They're both going down. And so when the Fed comes along and they prop Wall Street back up, then Wall Street will go back up, but the general economy will still continue to go down. That's the situation. Anyway, taking a look now at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we can see they've had a pretty good little bounce today. 509 points to the upside at 30,398. Let's take a look now at crude oil, which is at 111.79. And wow, look at that price. And I'm going to tell you what, it was up near 120, and now it's 111, you know, and the price continues to rise at the pumps. This means that what they're doing is they're fully capable of the ones who are the refineries and stuff, they are fully capable of, because when the price comes down per barrel, that means their price to refine comes down. And that means that they could lower the price at the pumps, but they're not. In fact, they're increasing the price at the pumps. And this means they're making a higher percentage of profit on the backs of you out there. And they'll continue to do that until there's demand destruction. In gasoline right now, demand destruction is going to come at some point over $10 a gallon. And you're saying, well, what is demand destruction? Demand destruction is, people used to say, well, we're going to go on a little trip this afternoon. We're going to have a picnic or whatever out in the country. You know, it's summertime and everything, and we want to have some fun. We've done this every year. We always do it. They say, well, Martha, this year we're not going to do it. We're not going to go on the picnic. She says, why? He says, well, we're going to have the picnic here at home. Because gas is $10 a gallon. I can't afford to drive that 100 miles out there and 100 miles back in our old big Buick station wagon and take all the kids out there. You know, I can't afford it, Martha. You know, I mean, we only get 10 miles to the gallon. You know, and it's 100 miles out there. That's 10 gallons at $10. It's $100 out and $100 back. I'll save $200 by not going out to the picnic this year. And she says, Martha says, well, that is a lot of money. $200 in gas alone, she says. She says, last year we drove out to the picnic. What did it cost us? He says, well, it cost us $90. And she says, this year it's over doubled? Yeah, it has. It's over doubled. He says, I can't afford it. Says, well, we'll have the picnic at home, save $200. Now, that you get a whole bunch of people doing stuff like that, and that's the demand for gasoline, and it starts to drop. In other words, they don't need as much gas anymore. So that's demand destruction, and at somewhere over $10 a gallon, that's what's going to happen. And so, but the demand destruction for fuel will continue even after they start to bring this price back down just a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the MOVE index at 133.75. Bonds and rates today. We're looking at rising yields, and we're looking at a U.S. 10-year at 3.28 and a U.S. 30-year at 3.35. And we're up about 6 basis points, 4 to 6 basis points on the day. U.S. dollar index at 104.31. Now, thank you guys for listening to my show. Really appreciate my audience out there. You guys out there who are watching my show. Thank you for watching my show. Try to keep you guys informed on the latest developments in the world that are of importance. You know, I mean, there's so much noise out there right now, and so much you can't believe and everything. I'm going to tell you guys what. A lot of people out there say, well, I just turn the news off. I never listen to the news anymore because it's all just propaganda. You know, and that's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I have to sort through all these stories out there coming in from, and you have to rely upon the mainstream press to a certain degree in order to have an understanding of what's going on out there in the world. But can you trust them? Probably not, because they spin things to follow narratives. It's called narratives. They do this nowadays. And you know, back in like a long time ago, they used to be able to trust them. Now it's all narratives. But you have to rely upon them to get the general idea, and you have to sort through, and you have to use discretion. This is what I do, use discretion. Try to figure out what's real, what's not real, you know? Anyway, and so I do that for you guys, but I also use a lot of different news sources. I'm on the internet all the time trying to find what's truth. That's what's important to me, is what's true and what's not true, and getting to the bottom of it all, and not believing these narratives that they're trying to spin so that they can get their way with what they're trying to do, with their objectives. Anyway, and we live in a very tough world. It's a hard world to try to find the real truth out there. And that's what I try to do, you know.